Welcome to series of videos on feedback amplifiers. This is our fifth video in the series. The topic of this particular video is series shunt amplifier feedback amplifier analysis. So this is a series shunt feedback amplifier. You can see this is an ideal source with open circuited load. We have an ideal feedback network without loading the output, and this is the feedback voltage is beta times V naught. This amplifier with this negative feedback, which is a series shunt feedback amplifier, can be represented by a simple block diagram having an input resistance of RIF and having a closed loop gain of AF and the output resistance with feedback as ROF. So this is a representation of the feedback amplifier with voltage series feedback or series shunt feedback topology. Of course, in the last video also we had a look at the input impedance. So the input impedance, we are trying to say that okay, if Ri happens to be the input impedance of the amplifier without feedback, RIF is the input impedance of the amplifier with feedback. So we found in the last video that okay, the input impedance with feedback is 1 plus A beta times the input impedance without feedback here. So actually the input impedance will increase by 1 plus A beta times, which is a good sign for an amplifier. So we are supposed to have the input impedance of an amplifier as high as possible. Ideally it should be infinity, so it is better to increase the input impedance. So now we will see how does the output impedance behaves for the negative feedback. You can see this is again the negative feedback amplifier with series shunt feedback. Let us try to analyze. Okay, we know that to find the output impedance of any network, we'll apply a dummy source at the output and the input is short circuited. We are doing the same thing at S and S dash, where we usually used to give the input voltage is now short circuited, and we are applying at the output O and O dash a dummy source which is Vx here. You can see this is the output. We have put a Vx source here. And we know that okay, because this is open circuited here, because we consider this as a open circuited feedback network, so that's why the current that is going into this feedback network is 0, so which is ideal case here. And suppose if I write that KVL for this, so I can write Vx is equal to Ix into R0 plus AV into Vi. So this is the two voltage drops you're going to have. This is the voltage drop and this is the voltage source. I can get an expression for Ix. Of course, you can rearrange this expression. I'll get the expression for Ix, and I know that this Vi, what I'm getting, is actually this voltage. So if you can carefully notice this loop, Vi is actually minus Vf, but Vf whatever you're getting. So this is Vf is actually beta times V naught, which is beta times V naught, and of course V naught is again nothing but it is Vx. So that's why it is written as Vi is equal to minus Vf and Vf is equal to beta times Vx. By substituting okay this Vi as A beta times Vx, so I can able to write the expression for Ix as equal to Vx into 1 plus A beta by R0. So by rearranging that, you can write what is Vx by Ix. So Vx by Ix happens to be the resistance looking at this point with feedback. So with feedback resistance happens to be R0 by 1 plus A beta. So this R0 is the resistance what you are seeing here, which is represented here also. This R0 is the output resistance of the amplifier without feedback, whereas ROF is the output resistance of the amplifier after giving this feedback. You can notice here the output resistance with feedback has reduced by 1 plus A beta times, so which is again a good sign for any good amplifier. So it is always advantageous to have a negative feedback, which will improve the input impedance as well as reduce the output impedance of an amplifier. So let us move along and then try to find out some other analysis of series shunt feedback amplifier. So let us move from this okay ideal to practical. So what is the ideal here is, because so far in the analysis we considered this source is having zero resistance, there is no RS here, and of course we consider the output is again infinite resistance, it is not being loaded, and the feedback network we consider that this is open circuit which is not loading the output here. And again these are the so many ideal things that were considered while deriving all these expressions, that is AF was given by A by 1 plus A beta, and RIF is given by RI into 1 plus A beta. So these are all the expressions what we obtained using the ideal conditions of the source, load and the feedback network. So let us consider a typical circuit where we're going to have some source resistance, there will be some load resistance, and this feedback network no more be ideal. So let us consider those cases and try to find out how do we incorporate those non-idealities while designing the circuits. Okay, this is what we have. So now we have a practical circuit, if you can see here. So there is a basic amplifier, there is a feedback network which is no more ideal here now. So, and you have a source which is again having some RS having source resistance, and you can see this is your load resistance which is RL. If you can carefully notice so many parameters here, this is R out of the amplifier, which okay, now we have not considered RL here, this is R out of the amplifier. Suppose if I see from here it is ROF, this is the feedback, this is the output resistance with feedback as well as with RL, Again this is the input impedance looking into the network with the feedback coming into picture, but we are considering this as RIF, which includes RS also into the circuit. So which is the again non-ideality of this VS, that is the source resistance, is considered to find out the input impedance with feedback. So we are replacing this feedback network by a circuit here, and you can see this is how it looks like. This is a typical case. And let us move on now. So now we are supposed to, because we know that we have a feedback network, so that needs to be represented by some model, otherwise we cannot understand it, we cannot start the analysis, because we know that we are representing all basic amplifiers by this simple two-port network, that is there is a RI input impedance, there is a R0 output resistance, and this is a voltage dependent voltage source which depends on the input voltage, and of course with a gain of A, which happens to be the open loop gain. Now similarly we are supposed to represent a feedback network by an equivalent circuit. So let us try to see which one will want to give such type of network. So because we know that the feedback network what we are considering here should supposed to have a voltage sampling and voltage should be added here. So there should be a voltage sampling and there should be a voltage addition here. So let us try to see whether can we use this Y parameter two-port network, because this is a two-port network. If you can see you are sampling a voltage, so this is voltage being sampled, and if you can see here, you know the voltage might have been sampled, but we have maybe at this point you are sampling the voltage which is exactly over here, but on the other side you are supposed to have a voltage source, but the Y parameter representation of a two-port network doesn't have voltage source here. There is a voltage dependent current source, so I cannot represent a feedback network by this Y parameter. So if I just try to see can I able to represent this feedback network with this, again it is not possible here, because now you have a current being sampled here. So since current being sampled here, and of course even though you may have a voltage source here, this is a voltage source, but the thing that is sampled here is current, but you are supposed to sample the voltage here. Since you are supposed to sample the voltage which is not done in this Z parameters, I cannot use a Z parameter for representation of this feedback network. So Y parameter is ruled out because it is not having a voltage source at the port 1. This Z parameter is also ruled out because it is actually sampling the voltage, but actually I'm supposed to sample here it is sampling the current, but I'm supposed to sample the voltage here. So let us see is there any other parameter, any other network which I can, if we can see this H parameters. So whatever you are sampling is an voltage, and whatever you are adding is again a voltage. So you are sampling the voltage and you are adding the voltage here. So this happens to be an ideal case for representation of this feedback network by a H parameter. So what we'll do is we will actually take a particular example and try to replace the given feedback network with a H parameter, which is exactly modeled in such a way that we're going to sample the voltage and add the voltage which is having some H parameter values. We know that H parameter has got V1 as a dependent parameter and I2 as again a dependent parameter, whereas input current and output voltage are independent parameters. So by doing the analysis, we can find what is the different parameters H11, H12, H21, H22 as per this equation. So this is how we can able to estimate the different parameters. When we actually take up the example, we will actually estimate each and every parameter for that particular network. So let us consider this basic amplifier circuit having some non-ideality in terms of RS, RL. Now we're going to replace this feedback network by a two-port network, which is represented by H parameter. Now you can see I have a basic amplifier. Now this feedback network is now replaced by this H parameter network, because you can see at this point you have a voltage source and you are sampling the voltage. Now we are supposed to find out what is H11 and different H parameters of this. Okay, now let us assume that this is a practical circuit that we are supposed to consider. So let us take a practical circuit and then come back here. If you can see, this is a typical series shunt amplifier. Okay, this is a series shunt amplifier typical circuit having source resistance RS, load resistance RL, RID and R0 are the input and output resistance. Mu happens to be the gain of the amplifier. R1, R2 are the circuit or network which is representing the feedback network here. So now I want to represent this R1, R2 by the H parameter circuit. So this is what you have. So I want to estimate what is this H11. So H11, as we can see here, this is the topology of what you are supposed to. This is the H11 is actually derived using V1 by I1 with V2 equal to 0. You can see we are making V2 equal to 0. We are trying to find what is the resistance seen from here. This is V1 by I1. Suppose if I make this voltage as 0, now this is short circuited. When I short circuit this R1 and R2 will come in parallel. So that's why H11 for this network happens to be R1 parallel R2. So this way we can able to find out what is the equivalent of H11, which is the representation of this network by a H parameter model. And then similarly I want to represent what is H12 here. So we can see here H12 is nothing but with I1 equal to 0. So I'll make this current I1 equal to 0. When I say I1 equal to 0, I'll simply open circuit this and it is V1 by V2. So whatever that voltage that you have measured across R1 with respect to the input what you have here is actually R1 by R1 plus R2. So H12, which is a parameter for this particular feedback network, is R1 by R1 plus R2. So this way we can estimate H12 also. Similarly, we can find out what is H22. If we can find this H22, which is actually I2 by V2 with I1 equal to 0. When I say I1 equal to 0 here, again this current is made equal to open circuit. When I1 is equal to 0 means this is an open circuit. If you are applying some voltage here, then what is the current? So suppose if you are applying voltage V2, the current is given by V2 divided by R1 plus R2. Since H22 is an admittance parameter, H22 is given by I2 by V2. That happens to be because these two are coming in series. You can see R1 plus R2, because this is open circuited. You are applying a voltage V2 here. You want to find what is I2 here. So ratio of I2 by V2 with this as open circuited happens to be 1 over R1 plus R2. So this way we can able to find out what is H11, H12 and H22. But the parameter H21. So H21 is actually considered as 0 because H21 is ratio of the currents, because